What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Today we wanted to give you the progression that we do with our youth athletes. The very first thing we make sure to work on when they come in here, and 10 of our go-to exercises to kind of mold the athlete how we want. So if you guys enjoy this, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. We post new videos every Tuesdays and Thursdays, so make sure you subscribe to catch all of them. All right, so when it comes to training youth athletes, the very first thing that we stress with them is just as simple as body control. You'll notice a lot of youth athletes, a lot of young kids, we call it our super floopy, right? So their limbs are kind of going all over, their legs are doing really weird things. They just don't have any body control. So you see it in a lot of research. Before a certain age, there's not crazy benefit to getting them, lifting really heavy stuff. So the first part of our training is as simple as just working on body control. So we do a lot of form and a lot of mechanics while building relative strength. So it's very important to build strength in youth athletes, but you don't need the added resistance until they have that relative strength, until they can kind of control and move their body weight. So a lot of body control has to be, awareness, but having the strength to kind of lock in, do it, have your body perform how you want. And a lot of training early on is that nervous system, the neuromuscular connection. So we really hone in on that. And then when they're good, usually by that time, they're in a position where they have enough relative strength and they have a lot more body control. So we feel more comfortable doing more resistance with them. So we're gonna give you guys 10, I think it's actually 12 exercises that we like to do. We usually break it down into 2 stages. So the first stage, like I said, is gonna be the mechanics, the form, the relative strength, super low level, basic. And then after that, we progress it a little bit so we can add a little bit more resistance. We can get the exercises a little bit more dynamic, having them make it a little bit more challenging while still staying relatively simple, right? Like we have kids as young as 7 who are in here training. We try not to go super young with the age. So usually 9 is like when we will start. But if you guys think about it, like 9 is still relatively young. I do not want to have a 9-year-old, lifting weights, doing all that added resistance, because there's no real point in it. So I love to do a lot of plyometrics with them. Just have them do things in here that are fun, but where you can work on mechanics, the form, where you can build an amazing foundation. So when they reach the age where we feel comfortable to get them doing more resistance, when they're strong enough, when they want to, when it's safe, then they have an amazing foundation, and then it's simpler for them. It's a lot safer. So body control is just the start of the game for us. So here are about 12 exercises that we love to do. We'll break it down into stages and we'll get Spencer demoing. All right guys, so one of the first things we do are called snap downs. So we've done this before. You're gonna start fully extended and you're just gonna pull yourself down as fast as you can. So big thing we really stress, knees stay apart, right? A lot of kids cave in. You're gonna kind of sit back a little bit. I want shoulders over knees, knees over toes. Really squeeze your butt. So if kids can do this one well, then I feel confident moving them to a lot of other things. So Spence, go ahead and show. This is usually when kids come in and we're working on body control, do like the weird knee thing they do, and like they just sit like all the way down. They come in like super like, what was it? I just feel like you can't do it. Spencer's just so good at snap downs, he can't do them poorly.
Well, then they go slow too.
They go super slow and they full on sit down. Yeah, something like that, something weird. Yeah. That's actually like really good with how they do it. They'll bend their back. So if kids can, like I said, have the body control to do it well, and then go split stance for me. If kids can do this stuff well, this does take a lot of body control to be able to get yourself in these positions. So this is always step 1. Every single beginning workout, we do this to kind of see where they're at. Okay, so next up we're doing skips. I don't want to say you guys are going to be surprised, but you guys would be surprised how many kids can't skip. Like, it's kind of sad because like growing up, everybody just skipped all the time. And now kids just don't know how to skip. And like Spencer was saying, kids don't know the proper form to skip, in the sense like
they don't move their arms and legs properly.
They just look really doofy when they skip. So we do this, and this is part of the warm-up actually, but we literally just have them do the most basic skip ever. Just skip down and back. You can kind of see how they move this way. And notice how Spencer's arms are going. We make them use their arms too, because kids do not know how to use their arms when they run. A lot of times they go like same arm, same leg.
I can't even demo it.
Yeah, like we can't even do it, and they don't know the, yeah, there you go.
Oh, that's pretty easy.
That's not what you're supposed to do.
I kind of like this. They do the same arm, same leg. So it's as simple as just breaking it down. Then we'll get into more arm drill for like acceleration mechanics. But we'll just have them swing their arms like super big, just have them kind of demo it out. But yeah, so skips are super big for us. All right, number 3, we're doing high knees. Same thing as with skips, kids can't really do high knees properly. You know, they get the wrong arms going, they get super like weird and wide with their knees. So we just break it down, and it's as simple as just telling them, hey, do high knees all the way down. We see what they do, and then we make corrections. So, you know, like this isn't even a part of like acceleration mechanics for us at this stage. Like all we're having Spencer do is just high knees.
We're not doing the whole like this thing.
Yeah.
Proper arm.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Get your proper arms in there. Make sure you're moving your arms correctly. But like go do the same thing again. Like if you guys watch our acceleration, right? We would be correcting this form. Like he's not doing acceleration or sprinting high knees. He's just working on moving the correct leg with the correct arm. As simple as that. And kids can't even do that half the time. Like do what you were doing earlier to demo it. I was literally laughing so hard. And this is like super accurate. So many kids do that for high knees.
You'd be surprised how unathletic
it's insane.
kids are.
Yeah, and it's we're not dissing kids, but like it's hilarious to watch. And so you kind of have to like, you know, teach them the body control. Number 4, we do a shuffle. So kids cannot shuffle either. So we just make it super simple. We don't even get into throwing their feet or working on their transition yet. All we want to work on is just straight up the shuffling and being able to slow their momentum. So as simple as shuffle and stop in this sense. Notice how like his feet are hip width apart, knee slightly bent when he stops. They do it, show the like a weird gallop, like shuffly thingy. Like they click their feet, that's a big thing we don't want,
like
right?
Cross.
Yeah, they cross, you don't want kids to cross. And then show the decel they usually do. They go super wide and their knee comes in like that. So it's working on those little things, right? We're not gonna show them how to properly throw your feet in transition if they can't even properly stop. So this is a big one, or shuffle, yeah, seriously, or shuffle. All right, for relative strength, 2 big things that we just start with are gonna be goblet squats and push-ups. So for goblet squats, we just tell them, you know, the first thing, keep your knees, like drive them out to engage your glutes, and just sit back as if you're sitting back in a chair. And usually kids do this correctly once you give those 2 cues.
We'll typically have like a dumbbell.
Yeah, goblet load up top. So he's gonna mimic that, but keep those knees apart and you just sit back, reach your butt back. Really watch out for their back, make sure it's not bending, make sure their knees aren't caving in. And you can tell if the kid is going more with their more knee dominant. So like Spence, go more knee forward, right? You see the difference, like he pushes up on his toes, his knees are going way far forward. It's totally fine if your knees track forward a little bit, but you don't want it to be a knee dominant thing. You can see the difference in the angles, how Spencer's squatting. And then we'll do push-ups. So a lot of kids cannot do a push-up all the way up and down because we want good form, right? We don't want the elbow flare. So sometimes we just have them go slow on the way down and then like come up with their knees, right? So Spence, go down super slowly and then just like rest, get to your knees and go up. Yeah, so we'll just have them work on that, right? Just build that eccentric a little bit. Sometimes kids can't even do that. Sometimes they have to go on their knees, yeah. But the biggest thing that we stress is if you notice Spencer's elbows, right, when he does them, like they're in more towards his body, right? Good form, you don't wanna teach bad habits. I would say 99% of kids do the elbow flare.
Like super wide.
Yeah, one of these weird ones. And it's like those actually like hurt. So it's just, yeah, it's just working on the form, correcting it, teaching them good habits. And if you have to break it down, you break it down, but just start working on good habits. All right, so that kind of wraps up stage 1. Stage 2, we start getting into a little bit more dynamic. So we're gonna be doing some box jumps. So the reason this is stage 2 is because you have to get your knees up, right? Your feet have to get up or you're gonna catch them and you're gonna fall and we're gonna laugh. So you gotta make sure that you have body control to get them up. So you can start low, right? You don't need to start max box jump. You don't need an approach, you don't need anything fancy. Literally, I just tell the kids, jump up on the box.
But this is also kind of ties in the snap down we worked on in the first phase.
Yeah.
So it's like you're combining the snap down with the jump. So we're adding on to the snap down with this.
Yeah, exactly. So you start tall, you pull yourself down, keep those knees apart, and you just jump up. More challenging than a just regular vertical, in the sense that you have an obstacle you kind of have to jump up onto. You got to be able to land. If you can't land, we're not going to have you jump. All right, another progression that we do are gonna be running hurdle jumps. We make sure to do this. One's body control is pretty good, one's skipping is good, high knees are good. So running hurdle jumps, Spencer, go ahead and demo. You're just gonna be running and you're just gonna hurdle it and just gonna run all the way through. So one of the big things with running hurdle jumps is just really making sure that your body is locked in. So I always stress it should be effortless, right? It should not be like you're cranking your body. So many kids, when they're doing it, they go around like this. So this is really teaching kids how to just keep their body in line and how to come forward. Because you'll also notice too, when a lot of kids are sprinting or doing acceleration stuff, they start running. Like sometimes they'll like twist their hips kind of like that, or it pulls them offline, and you want to be completely straight when you're going, right? So if kids are jumping over, swinging wide, that's going to translate somewhere else. So this is a great way to get kids, number one, using their arms and legs together, but also to go straight. So I'm here, I go over, being able to land and continue your stride. I say this a lot in sports, right? Sports, the game doesn't stop when you land from a jump. So you have to be able to be running, like if we're doing soccer, run, jump up, head the ball, land, and continue going. We start as simple as like hurdles up to here, just to teach kids how to pick their feet up. So anything with hurdles like this, just kind of get those feet up, working on landing, because you're landing from a higher height than a box. The box you catch higher. So here, just being able to land, great option. All right, so next up, we start to get a little bit more reactive. Nothing too crazy, right? You want a solid foundation before, good change of direction ability before you get really into agility. But we include the tennis ball a little bit because it's great for teaching awareness and body control. So something as simple as like a shuffle with a catch, right? That's not too crazy. Kids can do that. It's a one demo type of thing. Something like this. And then it's like you throw the tennis ball and he has to catch it like that, right? So some body awareness, being able to stop and go. And then we'll do something where it's more reactive, like he's facing the back wall. I say go, and then he has to like turn, catch, and move, right? So nothing like that's super crazy, but it's really good for awareness, body control, just knowing where your body is in relation to other things. All right, and then the final part of this is we'll get a little bit more resistance. So nothing crazy, just a little bit more. So one of my go-tos is gonna be a single arm dumbbell row, right? So you can have them, I like to have their hand on something. You get here, you just teach how to drive that elbow straight back. Nothing crazy, right? We're not flaring. Super similar to like a push-up. You just kind of teach it, drive it straight back. Squeeze your core, works on stability really well as well. So these types of exercises, I like to do stuff that works on that stability element and it's not over the top. So after a single arm dumbbell row, I like to teach some type of press. So we'll go like an overhead press. This is a great way to work on, once again, stability, but a lot of kids go this way or they go forward, right? And so when they go forward, it pulls their body forward. So if you teach them, keep your core tight, squeeze your glutes, and just drive that thing straight up, right? It's a lot better for them working on body control that way. We'll do some type of lunge and do like an offset reverse lunge. So kids get used to stepping back, keeping this body control, stability, glute strength, and it's not too crazy at all. We don't even need weight for that. We can just do a regular lunge. But we pick exercises like that. We even do sled. We do a lot of sled because it's relatively strength, but it starts adding resistance. You can work on some mechanics with it, but things like that. So that's the progression we usually take. We usually hit these types of exercises. But yeah, hopefully that was helpful. If it was, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and we will catch you in the next one.